a rose by any other name would smell as sweet or not. Project stakeholders add the dynamic to your project. They add the complexity to your project. And they are the ones who will make a difference as to whether your project's going to be successful or not. So if you group your stakeholders, you've got your project governance group. Quite clearly, poor project governance has been identified as a reason for project failure, and it still is. Nothing's changed there. And one of the reasons nothing's changed is that a lot of governance groups send their project managers for training, but they don't necessarily do it themselves. But anyway, project governance, they certainly have their key stakeholders. Your project team, the ones actually doing the work, are your stakeholders. And built into that team, in a lot of the projects, especially if you're looking at mining and the resources industry, your team are actually contractors and consultants. So they are part of your team. And that's an important part of project management, or an important part of project management, is to make everyone working on your project feel part of the whole team, because they all have something to contribute and they really need to know their place in that team. So those are the stakeholders doing the work. Then you've got the suppliers. Now, any of those stakeholders have the ability to stuff your project up or make it extremely successful. But as a project manager, you're a key stakeholder and you're the facilitator of that project. So a lot of it depends on your facilitation skills, as well as your ability to negotiate and be assertive when required. The other stakeholders, I mentioned suppliers. You could love them, but sometimes you don't, because there's a good chance that they may not deliver as they should do or when they should do. And then you've got all the other stakeholders. You've got regulatory authorities, local governments, and then for some projects you've got community groups and residents and lobby groups. So there is such a range of stakeholders, and the most important thing is that we identify them for our project. And it doesn't matter if you don't identify more than necessary, because once you plan your communication, you can hone them out. But important is that we do identify them. We do look at what impact they're going to have on our project. We do look at their influences. And then we decide how we're going to manage them. Because if we don't focus on our stakeholders, it doesn't matter how good your process is, it doesn't matter if you've got the best project methodology, it is the people that make your project successful.